Hi, you guys. So this is basically my first official episode of my Love, Life, and Lessons advice subchannel, etc., etc. I haven't gotten a chance to really put up a video because I get so many questions on the actual blog and via email. I guess that's kind of been what I've been paying attention to. But this question kind of poked out to me. Mostly because I am going through a lot of family stuff myself. So I guess I can really relate to this, like really though, especially right now. But I always get, for some weird reason, I always get a lot of questions on parental relationships. Like your relationship to, your parents and, you guys not being as close to them, and sorry, I don't mean to say you guys, but my readers or viewers have asked me quite a few questions on it. Different things like I'm not close to my mom, and I want to know how we can get closer. We've never been close. I really want to talk to her, etc., etc. Me and my mom argue all the time. How can I get us to stop? Or I don't want it to be like this forever. Or how do you maintain a close relationship with your family or your parents especially, etc., etc., things like that. So from what I've gathered from all the different questions I've tried to answer, or that I've hopefully gotten around to, it kind of hit home for me a little bit. So what I'm going to get into now is what I've personally learned, with my trials and tribulations with my parents and whatever, and these are things that I want you guys to remember, when dealing with your parents or trying to build a better relationship with them. So this is going to sound really cheesy, but I literally have 5 things that I want you guys to remember, okay? Number 5, don't be petty. I want you guys to remember that it's not about fairness. So it's not like, oh, I don't, my mom doesn't open up to me, why should I open up to her? Like, it's not about that, okay? She's not just your friend, you know what I mean? Like, she's not your best friend who's the same age as you. She's your mother. So you have to keep that in mind. Like, you can't sit there and be like, well, she doesn't do it, why should I? It's not about that. You have to remember that she's your parent and you're the kid. And I know that sounds really bad right now to you, but I promise you, you'll understand when you get older and you realize, well, that's my mom. You know what I mean? Like, you need to find that level of respect with her. And I recently got a question saying that, like, I guess you couldn't open up to your mom because you feel like she's kept so much stuff from you the past couple of years. And I can understand that, you feel like you've been kind of, how do you say, not betrayed in any way, but like, like she didn't trust you enough to tell you some things and whatnot, but maybe there's a reason why she didn't tell you those things, like I said, parents are always trying to be the stronger ones. They don't want to worry their kids with drama, you know what I mean? They want you to focus on being in school and doing something with your life, and you being a kid or you being a teenager, enjoying your youth and whatnot, because they know what responsibilities are like when you get older. So I want you guys to remember that, you know what I mean? Like, parents know what it's like to be a kid, but kids don't know what it's like to be parents, Number 4, know your role. Know that you're the kid and they're the parent. I know that sounds really fucked up, but trust me on this. Like I said, kids don't know what it's like to be parents because they're not parents and they haven't been. But parents know what it's like to be kids, and it's not like they're treating you like a kid per se. Obviously they're hopefully treating you based on your, your age demographic and whatnot. I have seen some bad parenting in the past, so this is applying to any of you guys who are having troubles balancing the fact that they're your parent. And, I don't know, at some point when I was younger, I wanted my mom to be more of a friend, but parents know how to find a balance with being a good friend to you and, a good parent to you. That's the sign of a good parent. Because sometimes when you tell your parents stuff, they immediately jump into protective mode and they forget to listen to you. And some parents don't know how to do that. For a while, my parents didn't. My dad especially, he's the type that's always trying to find a solution to something. So I would tell him a problem and he would instantly try to fix it. And it frustrated me because I'm like, I just want to talk to you, And sometimes it happens like that with my mom. Like, sometimes I just need her to listen. And then, you know, sometimes she's like scolding me or something about it, about something bad I did or whatever, you know, or something bad that she thinks I did to deserve what happened or whatever. And I'm like, I'm just trying to talk to you, damn it. So I firmly believe that a good parent will find the balance, but you as the kid will have to let them know how they're doing, you know, because they think they're doing well, but if you're being rebellious with them and you're being difficult with them, you know, I see a lot of parents that are always like, God, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, you know. So you as the kid, you're lightweight subconsciously responsible for letting a parent know how they're doing, because if they see you being a good kid and you're responsible and you're this and you're that, obviously they instantly, naturally, subconsciously reap the rewards of that because they're your parent, you know what I mean? They instantly feel responsible for that. So if you're bad and you're being rebellious and you're being, you know, crazy, they feel like that's their fault. So understand that part. Just remember that you're the kid, they're the parent. Know the difference, you know what I mean? It's not always a bad thing, you know? I mean, just because they're your parent, it doesn't mean that they're always going to be parental with you. You know, like I said, a good parent will be able to find the balance between the two and be supportive and understanding and a good friend to you while also being a good, you know, role model for you and, you know, being a good parent to you. That to me is a good parent, is knowing how to balance it all. You know what I mean? So that being said, number 3 is I want you guys to remember how important your parents are to you. Now, some of you guys might have some remorseful feelings towards your parents for whatever reason. Maybe you had a crazy childhood and whatnot, and you have some animosity build up. And I know what that feels like. But like I said, I had a death-defying experience with both of my parents, and that made me realize how important they were to me. I know that that sounds really fucked up, that it took that much, like it took me almost losing them to make me realize that, but sometimes that's what it takes. And I hope that you guys can find it in your hearts to just think about it before that even happens, because I had to learn the hard way. I had to literally like almost feel like I was going to lose my family for me to feel this way. And if you guys can manage not to do that, I would. So I would think about it, you know, contemplate it, you know, ask yourself, you know, could you live without them? You know, if your answer is yes, then shit, I guess the rest of this video and this whole entire video doesn't really apply to you. But if your parents are as important to you as they are to me, you know, you'll really take your time to really, you know, improve your relationship with them, like for real, for real. Second thing, this is really important. And again, this is something that you'll really understand when you're a parent. Opening up to your parents can be really hard. It's easier said than done. I can definitely tell you that for sure from my own personal experience. But honestly, once you do it, you will feel a huge weight lifted off your shoulders. I get tons of questions on, hi, I've been dating this guy, you know, for so long, I never told my parents about them, etc., etc. You know, how do I tell my parents? Like, or, you know, questions on, I can never tell my mom anything, she always gets mad at me, etc., etc. Things like that. Honestly, the worst thing, like one of the worst things that you can ever do to your parent is shut them out. Once a kid shuts the parent out, that's like it. Like the parent feels like they're at a loss. Like they're like, oh my god, she shut me out. What am I gonna do? Especially if you're the girl, because girls are naturally emotional creatures. So I know for me, like from my experience, like when I'm really close to one of my nieces, and at some point she kind of got mad at me for something, or she was mad in general, and she shut me out, and I freaked out. And I was like, what did I do? Wait a minute, are you mad at me? Like it was really deep. Like I kind of freaked out a little bit. Like I felt like we were never going to get over it, you know, but it turns out she wasn't even mad at me in particular. She was just mad at life. So, that's typical for a lot of teenagers, you know, you're mad at the world. But you know, your parent is there for you, you know. It's a little hard for some parents to be supportive because they're more concerned about you and how you're doing, and you know, if everything's okay and whatever. Like they're really concerned about that, especially your mom. Your mom's gonna be like extremely concerned about how you are, and you know, anyone who hurts you, she wants to beat them up, you know what I mean? Like they're very protective. So I would definitely attempt as much as you can, try your hardest to open up to your parents, because once you shut them out, that's like it. Like, it kills them, believe me. You know, my mom told me before, like, when I wouldn't talk to her at all, she felt like she was at a loss. She felt like me and her were never going to connect again, etc., etc. And that connection is really important, especially if you're a daughter and, you know, your connection with your mom is supposed to be really deep and emotional, like she's your mom. You know what I mean? And she's the one who's going to be able to relate to you in the heart. You know what I mean? And the number one piece of advice that I can give you guys is learn to forgive. I can't say forgive and forget because for some people it's really hard to just forget. I can relate to that more than anything because me being at 27, it took me a long time, you know, to forget all the shit that I went through. It's really, really hard. But forgiving helped me move on, you know, so I would really take that into account. You gotta learn how to forgive. So whatever shit has happened in the past, whatever bullshit that you guys went through, you guys can always come up from that. You know what I mean? Like, if your relationship is really that strong, if you value your parents that much, you'll get through it. It's just the same as if, you know, you and your best friend had a falling out. You know, if you guys have a strong enough friendship, you'll get through it, you know? And if you value your parents at all, you'll forgive. You know what I mean? Like, you'll learn to forgive. Feel heavy-hearted anymore. You know what I mean? And so that will not only benefit you, but it'll benefit your parents, knowing that you forgave them and that you're over it. You know, your parents constantly forgive you. You know, I mean, if you're anywhere between 16 and 21, that's relatively 16 to 21 years that they put up with your ass, you know? And it's only been so many years that you were cognitively aware, you know, of what's really going on. You know what I mean? Like, nothing ever really registered to you until you were in your teen years, up until your early 20s. You know what I mean? Like, when you really started paying attention to your relationship with your parents. And imagine that, you know, up until at least 12 or 13. You know, your parents put up with you for 12 or 13 years. It wouldn't kill you to put up with them. You know what I mean? Anyway, I hope this really helped you guys out. If you guys have any additional questions, feel free to leave them down below, and hopefully I'll address them in a future Love, Life, and Lessons video. But for now, I hope you guys really, really find it in your hearts to better your relationship with your parents, because I can tell you from experience, once I finally did, oh, my life had so much meaning. Like, I'm not joking. You know, like, everything kind of came together for me. Everything made much more sense. I didn't have so much identity conflict, if that makes any sense, you know? Like, I understood things a lot more, and my life was a little bit more, it was less complicated and more serene. I didn't feel as heavy-hearted anymore. That's probably one of the most important things that I improved in, is that I didn't feel as heavy-hearted anymore. So yeah, I hope you guys found this video helpful, and I will hopefully talk to you guys soon. Bye.